This is just a list where you can see this particular member's personally sponsored distributors and personally sponsored customers. Okay, nothing fancy, just a bunch of information for them. One link below that is genealogy. Let's click on that. Genealogy is a once-a-day updated report that shows everybody in this person's business and where they're positioned. So if they wanted to, they could effectively build a downline map. It shows a little bit of extra information. And in the case of the admin only, if you scroll to the far right-hand side, it'll actually show you what volume each person in this particular downline purchased for the last 5 periods. Okay. It also shows what volume they have on auto ship and what volume they've currently purchased. So you see current volume, you see 5 periods back, and you see auto ship. So it's a very handy tool when you're trying to analyze someone who's telling you they didn't get paid right or whatever. Click on Viewer Unilevel. So this is where you'd see all of your members in the matrix. So you'd see your front line, and then you'd click to go down a little deeper. And because this doesn't have a lot of people in it, this test system, there's no little plus signs. But normally there's a plus sign. You click on it, and then you're going to see the people underneath them. And it'll just expand out. One is Email Downline. We'll skip OMSIS for now. I'll come back. That's actually an add-on to our software that's a full-blown auto-prospecting system that if you want to actually sell that through your organization, we can work out a licensing deal with it. So let's click on Email Downline. Okay, this is just an email downline function, so everybody can email down to everyone in their group. It's optional. If you don't want it turned on, we can turn it off. It is real time. If you want it non-real time, we can set that up as well so that you have to approve the emails before they actually go out. So it's fairly safe because of the fact that we can turn it on and off like that. Well, you do have to be careful with it. Remember that in your policies and procedures, you should be telling people that there is the ability for upline members to email them, and that by signing up to your company, you're agreeing to it. And also remember, in the members lounge, people have the ability to turn these emails off. So I can go into my members lounge and say, I don't want any email blasts from my upline. I can turn them off. Okay, so there's control at the member level for what emails from the system they want to receive. But yes, it could be considered spam. It wouldn't be spam because in your policies and procedures you would cover off that they're opting into all emails from upline, downline, and have the ability to turn them off should they want to. So therefore, you wouldn't ever lose your domain for spamming as long as you put that in your policies and procedures. Okay, let's go to the next link, which is FAQ. This is just a frequently asked questions section that I'm going to then share in a little bit with you, the automated engine that builds this. So you'll start to handle all of your support queries through the system, but this listing is not generated by you just sitting down and entering a bunch of questions and answers. This listing gets generated as you take questions from the field. You can actually modify them and have them end up in this area for everyone to see. So I'll be sharing that with you in just a little bit. It's very, very efficient. The next link down is support. This is where the member would submit a question to support. Okay, so when you're using our system, you do not want to accept emails for support. You will force everyone to use the proper support system. That keeps everybody in the correct queue. Everybody gets their turn in the appropriate turn. More importantly, it allows you to build the FAQ so that your company gets more and more efficient the longer it lives, basically, because more and more questions will be answered automatically in the FAQ. Then once you have a bunch of things in the FAQ, if somebody ever comes and asks you a question that's already in the FAQ, that's where you just turn around and say, I'm sorry, go look at item number 47 in the FAQ. Because if you answer a question that's in the FAQ, you become the path of least resistance. Once you're the path of least resistance, no one will ever go look at your FAQ. They'll just immediately send you the question. If you refuse to answer the question and force them to look at the FAQ anyways, then they go, well, hang on, if I don't look first and it's there, they're just going to tell me to go look, so I might as well go look first. That saves you a lot of time in support. That's pretty much it for distributor maintenance. So let's click on the link that says admin. I'm not going to go through and do a whole sign up with you. It's a fairly standard sign up. Okay, you put in who the sponsor is, you put in what username you want, the email address, the zip code, whether they're a distributor or a customer. You have the ability to backdate or forward date the sign up. And then you go through to the next screen, and if it's an American address or an Australian address or somewhere we have a database, it'll automatically populate a bunch of the address. You just fill in the difference. Then you go through and you pick the product you want to order for this person, select their payment type, and you're done. You sign them up and placed an order and put them on auto ship all in one method. To FAQ admin, because this is the actual FAQ system. Okay, so you'll see there's a sample question in here that says, what color is the sun? Okay, well, let's go click on ticket ID 1003, and I'll show you how this FAQ system works. And you'll see the question as the customer typed it. Then you'll see in the orange box, what is the color of the sun? Well, in this case, that's a correct and grammatically correct question, so you wouldn't have to change it. But most of the time when a question comes in from a member, it's very poor grammar, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense, and you need to fix the question to sort of appropriate language. Or maybe it has a whole bunch of other information in it that isn't specifically a question and an answer. So what you would do is you'd put the actual question as you want to show up in the FAQ when you're done in this orange box. Then you have the ability to put a personal greeting into the person, so it populates their name, and then you can go in and, hi, how are you? Long time we haven't talked, whatever personal stuff you want to put in. Then you put the response to their question, specifically the question that you want to add to the FAQ. Okay? Then you put your personal information sign off, a few keywords, scroll to the very bottom, and then you'll see we have a whole bunch of options. Now, in the beginning, a lot of your questions will be stuff that's good to be in the FAQ. So you'll be putting them in a lot. When you add something to the FAQ automatically like this, you have the ability to add it to the non-members area, the members area, or the admin area. Admin can see all three. Members can see members and non-members, and non-members, of course, can only see non-members. So it segregates it all out, but it keeps everything in one place for you to deal with as admin. You can then set their ticket status to closed and resolved. You can pick which category you would like to add this question and answer to. The categories are also customizable by you. Okay? Then if you look at the right-hand side, you'll see that you can add to the Members Lounge messaging interface. So this means that not only do they get an email, because at the bottom you can see you can send an email, but it'll also put it into their Members Lounge, right first thing they see the next time they log in. And in fact, they won't be able to do anything in their Members Lounge until they acknowledge that they've read this. Okay? And you can also put a note into the distributor notes area. So back before when I said we can put in distributor notes, everything about the system keeps pushing the information back to that central area. So if they phone and ask a question, it's going to get stamped there. If they send in the question through the FAQ system, it's going to get stamped there. So no matter what you do, the information ends up in that one place, and that's what makes your customer support extremely efficient with this system. Let's scroll back to the top, and you'll see there's new, open, approve, unapprove, add new, FAQ, category maintenance. What these are is you can actually start to sift and sort through these where you can only look at the new support questions. You can only look at the ones that are open. We have the ability that you can have a junior support person answer the question. It'll send the email in real time because it's really not a problem if one person gets a wrong answer. But if that wrong answer that's a mistake by a newer person gets posted to the FAQ where all of your members can see it, that's a bit bigger problem. So we actually have the ability that the system will not automatically post things to the FAQ, but rather put them to an approval list where an administrator can make sure that they agree with the question and answer before it goes live to the system. It allows you to have, your newer people doing CSR work not affect the whole group, but only affect the one person they screw up on. So it's a very good way to go. The add new link is simply if you do have in the beginning or at any time you just have a question and answer that you just want to bang, slam right into the system, that's where you would just simply add an FAQ yourself without going through the system and answering a question. You just add the question and the answer. And category maintenance is where you'd actually add or edit categories. Let's say even it goes so far as to where it's been approved and it's now live on the system, but someone else realizes a mistake, then you just go in and you unapprove it and it disappears. So you can unapprove it, edit it, reapprove it. So yeah, you have complete control over making sure that what's in your FAQ is correct and accurate. And things change, right? Maybe you change your commission plan, so now you have to change some FAQs. So you'll unapprove them, you'll edit them, and then you'll reapprove them to put them back up.